or want to let our families know that if you choose to stay, you're welcome to, but if you don't choose to stay, this would be a nice transition. I'm not encouraging you to leave. I'm just telling you this is a nice transition if you want to move at this point. And I'll pause.
Daughter's excited. Look at these people.
Hey, good job. Good job.
Is there a way to shake? Sound already good?
All right, we're getting ready to move into the rest of our meeting. So if you are moving, if you will step outside the media center.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure, we got fire. I think she will transition. Well, yeah, that was great. That's it, yeah.
All right, I think we're at a spot that we can resume normal operations. So the next part of our agenda is our special recognition. So I'm going to first ask for Principal Evelyn Granning to come up. Ms. Granning, you had to pause for your cheering section. We were waiting for your cheering section.
I mean, wow.
Rowdy crowd tonight. So Miss Granning is the Jackson County Public Schools Principal of the Year, and she was surprised at a celebration in her honor on Monday, October the 3rd, and it really was a surprise.
It was.
Ms. Granning, a longtime administrator at Smoky Mountain High School, served as an assistant principal before her current principalship. Her selection as the district principal of the year speaks volumes about her dedication to the students, staff, and community. Ms. Granning is a JCPS product, having attended Fairview School and graduating from Smoky Mountain High School. I won't tell what year. Okay.
You can't, everybody.
She earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from North Carolina State University, a Master of Arts in Teaching degree from Johns Hopkins University, and a Certificate in School Leadership from Western Carolina University. Ms. Greening's professional career spans 18 years. Her varied experiences include being a teacher with Teach for America, Haywood County Schools, and Cherokee Central Schools. These opportunities bring a vast amount of experience to her leadership skills. Ms. Greening has been a successful administrator in Jackson County Public Schools since 2016. She is a positive role model for her students. Ms. Greening has a passion for ensuring every student is successful. More importantly, Ms. Greening has created a culture of inclusivity and has a desire for success among her entire student population. Her enthusiasm, love, and desire to bring out the best in students is an inspiration to her families and colleagues. Congratulations, Evelyn Greening, Principal of the Year. Take one of just her. Thank you, Ms. Greening. Thank you, cheerleading section. Our next recognition on the list is Mrs. Alexis Deals, and Alexis Deals Allred, correction, and she couldn't be with us this evening, so I'm going to hold that one till next month and recognize her. So the final recognition this evening, you know how we like to do, celebrate our students and our staff, is our very own following Smoky Mountain High School student Mabry Bumgarner. So Mabry with us this evening? Okay, so I think I will hold Mabry's until next month too, because I want to make sure Mabry Bumgarner can attend when we recognize him. So that will conclude our celebrations this evening, and we will roll right into the next part. Chairwoman, excuse me, Elizabeth Cooper.
I have a motion to approve the open session minutes for our regular meeting on September 27, 2022.
Make a motion that we approve the open session minutes of the regular meeting on September 27, 2022.
All in favor? Now, Dr. Ayers, your superintendent report, please.
I think I'll just stand here and use the mic. I think you can hear me better if I stand from here. So good evening, Madam Chair and Board of Ed members. This week marks the start of the second quarter of school and halfway through the first semester. We had a mandatory professional development day last week, which was full of learning and leading. Our career and technical education teachers even had the opportunity to do industry tours on their own field trip organized by Ms. Angie Deals. It was a hugely successful day, and I'm positive our students also enjoyed a couple extra days of rest at home. As we head into the second quarter, we continue to be focused on high-quality, rigorous instruction that meets the needs of all of our learners. As we follow the North Carolina curriculum standards, we use our instructional resources, both online and print, to provide engaging lessons and activities. I know our teachers are working diligently to improve our students' skills in every area. Our athletic teams are concluding their fall season and have proudly represented their school in Jackson County Public Schools. It's been exciting to see our student athletes excel in their sport and alongside their teammates. Next week, the winter sports season begins. Our Smoky Mountain High School marching band, too, has been full throttle, performing at games and during competitions. I'm so proud of our students, coaches, and leaders committing the time, and a lot of time, I might add, and effort to participate in extracurricular activities. But I do need to address a very important aspect of our school system. We are, once again, at a critical need for school bus drivers. Up until this point, we have managed to cobble together schedules that provide transportation to students. However, we currently need 8 to 10 bus drivers across the district. There are buses that we are unable to put on the road as a result of lack of drivers. I think those are 6, right, Josh? We have 6 buses. Furthermore, bus routes are being extended, which requires students to arrive home late or be picked up very early. We are consistently working to address this problem, but do not have the capacity to do so with multiple bus driver vacancies at this time. I cannot adequately express how dire this need is. Our goal is to put every child on the bus that needs to ride the bus, but we are struggling with bus drivers. Anyone willing to drive a bus will work around schedule barriers as best we can. But please understand that we recognize our students are on buses for long, extended periods of time, and we can only improve this with additional bus drivers. As we look at the safety aspects of our schools, we continue our safety walkthroughs in partnership with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and the Emergency Management Department. I'm pleased with what we are seeing. Furthermore, our egress projects are nearing completion, and Mr. Buchanan will provide an update later in this meeting. The most exciting news is the grant we have been awarded from the Department of Justice. This is a federal grant in the amount of $420,000. This grant will provide sophisticated radio communications as well as keyless door locks on every classroom in Jackson County Public Schools. A huge thanks to Jeremiah Jackson and many others who contributed and submitted this grant. In November, we'll be honoring our JCPS staff who are veterans in recognition of the Veterans Day holiday on November 11th. We have 16 staff members who are veterans and other contracted staff who are also employees of ours. A special luncheon will be provided for them along with public recognition if they choose to participate. I genuinely thank each of them for their service to our country. They have been heroes in the service and now heroes in our schools. And as always, I'm so proud to be part of a community that supports our schools as heavily as we are supported here. So thank you and gratitude. That's my board report. I hope you hear my plea that we're continuing to try to serve our students. Mabry is here after all. Thank you, Mabry, for coming. Come on up, please. I'm so glad you made it. So now you get to stand here and let us brag on you a little bit. How about that? This evening, we are celebrating Mabry Bumgardner, who is a Rotary Club of Silva's Student of the Month for September. Mabry is a senior at Smoky Mountain High School, and he was selected based on the recommendations of each of his teachers. So I'm going to read you a little bit about what your teacher said. You won't be scared. He said, Coach Brindley says, Mabry has a tremendous work ethic, both in and out of the classroom. I can always rely on him to show up early and stay late. He is a true leader. CTE teacher, Mr. Blake Fox, writes, Mabry is excellent in my class and takes a lead in whatever we are doing for the day. Students look up to him, and he is always kind and humble. That speaks volumes. Principal Granning says, Mabry leads through action. He is a strong student athlete and succeeds both on and off the field. Mabry plays as center on our varsity football team, whereas he is responsible for initiating each play. I think this serves as an analogy for his position within the senior class at Smoky High. He is frequently the catalyst for positive student action and truly leads through action. We are grateful to call him a Mustang. So Mabry, I too am proud of you, and you are such a leader, as is evidenced in all of your teachers' responses. Congratulations. Thank you. And that concludes my portion, so I'm going to hand the mic off to Adam Hope.
Adam, can you give us a report on the MC Star School Improvement Plan?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Ayers. I come to you tonight to present for you for information our school improvement plans from each school and our district improvement plan is documented in NC STAR. The provided comprehensive report is a snapshot in time at what each school improvement plan looks like. We continue to provide access on our website to any parent, teacher, student, or community member to view current plans from any school or the district plan. When anyone views the guest page, they will see the current plan as it stands at that time. To access, just visit our JCPS webpage and select Academics and School Improvement Plans. We will be asking for approval of these plans at our November Board of Education meeting. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Now, Jeremiah, can you come tell us about this exciting grant?
Hello, hello. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I come for this exciting news for you tonight. So if you'll remember in the May board meeting, you guys approved Jackson County Schools to apply for the community-oriented policing grant for school violence prevention. Last week, we were notified that the U.S. Department of Justice that our grant application has been awarded and funded. So we're excited about that. Jackson County Schools will receive $420,000 to install electronic locks with access control on every Jackson County Schools classroom door, and as well implement a new digital radio system that will provide reliable communication even in the most remote counties of our places of our county for our bus drivers. These projects are a part of our long-term plan for school safety, but this funding will allow us to reach these goals sooner. I would like to thank some partners who helped us with this. Dogwood Trust provided Jackson County Schools with a professional grant writer team that helped us with the submission. And as required by the grant, the Sheriff's Office was a great partner in this application. We also received letters of support from the County Manager, the Emergency Services Director, the Catamount School, and Southwestern Community College. Jackson County Schools is one of 235 total awardees for this grant in the nation. We're one of 6 in North Carolina and the only district west of Charlotte to receive this award. I believe that our successful application was in large part to our focus on student mental and emotional health. Our status as a project-aware school district was a big part and a big plus in our application. Does any of y'all have any questions? So we should receive notification from the grant in the next week or two on how to start the application process. And then we'll have 3 years to spend the money. Our goal is in the first 2 years to get everything installed and running. And then the third year will just be training and maintenance. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Good. Congratulations.
Dr. Ayers, Madam Chair, and members of the board. So if you give a history teacher a microphone, you're going to get a story. So just as a reminder of how we got to where we're at with the Egress Courtyard project, because it has been, be the first person to say it's been a huge inconvenience for those 4 schools. It's been an inconvenience for students and for teachers and for parents. But just as a reminder of why we did this, in the spring of 2018, after the Parkland school shooting, Jackson County Public Schools experienced 9 bomb threats, which each one of those bomb threats really represented students that were in some state of crisis and triggered by what had happened. The students at our 4 high schools, student councils and different student leaders in those schools, they got together, they talked, and they summoned the Jackson County School Board and summoned the Jackson County Commissioners to hear out their requests to make them feel safer at school. And the 3 things that they asked for additional school counselors that would be available to them to be able to work through interpersonal relationship problems and crisis intervention with students. They asked that there be a school resource officer at every single school, and they asked that all of our schools be single entry point. And so Jackson County School Board and Jackson County Commissioners, in their wisdom, moved forward and wanted to accomplish all 3 of those tasks. I'll remind folks too that they also decided to raise taxes in an election year to do that. And it took place with with great support. And so this is the last part of that 3-pronged support that our children asked for. Our children asked for this. And so with the egress courtyard project, we are hopeful that a couple of the schools will be totally complete here very soon. Right now, Smoky Mountain Elementary is scheduled to be completed next month. If you have an opportunity to visit the Smoky Mountain Elementary campus, the walls are complete, the doors have been installed, the Sally Point front entry has been installed. There's just a few cosmetic finishing touches on it. The last real component, all of the electronic hardware for the single entry point and the swipes has been installed and is still waiting on some parts. But we believe by next month, Smoky Mountain Elementary will be completed. Blue Ridge should be completed next month in December. The largest portion of that construction project, which is the wall on the south-facing side of the campus, the majority of that is complete. The Sally Point front entry point is complete there, and just really working on the back wall around connects between the elementary school pod and the early college building. At Fairview, we're anticipating being done at Fairview in February. Fairview had quite a few discoveries once started digging into the ground, particularly that the water line for actually the Head Start and Heritage Christian Daycare and the baseball fields all run through the middle of Fairview's campus. And so that had to be redone and redirected. And then the front entry point. Front doors, the new front doors have been installed. The front Sally Point should be completed soon. And some of the rest of the walls will be finished off here in the next couple of months. Smoky Mountain High School is scheduled for an April completion. Over the fall break, the Sally Point was constructed in the front lobby, and new entryway into the office was completed in 2 days. I was struck by Ms. Grading saying to me on Monday morning when I went out there that a lot of the kids didn't even notice this huge blue wall right in the middle of the lobby, but they didn't. Smoky Mountain High School has also we have discovered some things under the ground that we were not aware were there, but we're hoping to be complete in April. And just as a reminder, the goal of this project is that every single school is a single entry point, meaning that someone can't just walk in to the school without going through a controlled entrance. The beauty of the grant that Jeremiah was able to secure for us is this is something that we have talked about for years as somebody who's been a part of the tours of the schools to talk about how do we make schools safe. Talking about single entry points with emergency management, with the sheriff's department, and talking about wouldn't it be nice if we could lock all these doors all the time or lock them in an instant remotely. All of these things are coming together. So I say that Jackson County should be very proud of the investments that they've made in school security for our kids and our staff. So be happy to answer any questions about the progress and the status of the egress courtyard project as it stands. All right, thank you. Oh, next.
Christy is not feeling well tonight, so Jake is going to.
Yeah, I'm a very poor stand-in, but I'll do my best. So, first, we have, the finance team has successfully completed the first quarter audits for 2023. The audits cover transactions from July to September at all 9 schools. You'll find a copy of the report in your packet. We've also completed the first quarter audits for 2023 for the BOA purchase card program, which covers the same time period for transactions. We are very pleased when we can report there are no negligences, frauds, or findings found in either of these audits. Any comments or concerns were shared directly with the principals of the school, their bookkeepers, and the appropriate staff so that corrections will be made. These comments or concerns were also reviewed by reviewed at our second financial training in October for the school bookkeepers so that everybody can learn from the things that we found. and also reviewed at our October DLT with directors and principals. Do you have any questions about the audits? All right, and then you'll also find in your packet the October unaudited financial statement. You'll find in this copy of the report that it compares the data for last year, and it continues to reflect that we are within our interim budget resolution with spending. Do you have any questions about the budget report? All right, thank you very much.
Or did you have anyone sign up to speak tonight?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do have 3 speakers. I'd like to go over the instructions before you begin. Each month, the first part of at least one regularly scheduled board meeting will be set aside for citizens to address the board through public comment. Each speaker will receive 3 minutes to present comments. However, the public comment session will not exceed 30 minutes total except by majority vote of the board. The sign-up sheet is always available 30 minutes before the meeting begins for any individual or group to indicate their desire to address the board. During the public comment period, the board chair will recognize speakers in the order in which they signed in. Substitute speakers will not be permitted, and speakers may not donate any portion of their time to another speaker. If a speaker is unable to present all of his or her information within the specified time limit, the speaker may provide the board with the additional information in written form. If an unusually large number of people request to speak, a majority of the board may decide to reduce the time for each individual or to require the designation of a spokesperson for each group or persons supporting or opposing the same position. At any time, the board may establish additional procedures to ensure that public comment sessions proceed in an efficient and orderly manner. Written public comments may be sent in advance to the board prior to the board meeting and will be shared with the board during the meeting. All written public comments must be received by 4 p.m. the day prior to the board meeting to be included. Public comments are designed for the board to listen. The school board will not answer questions, they will not engage in dialogue, and we request that no complaints about individual employees or students are prohibited. Each of you will have 3 minutes to speak. The green light will come on as your time starts. The yellow light will come on when you have 30 seconds left, and the red light will come on when your time is up. The first speaker we have this evening is Ms. Addison Wilson. She is a student here at Cully Valley Elementary School, and she would like to speak about middle school cheer.
Hello, my name is Addison Wilson, and I am in 6th grade here at Cully Valley School. I asked if I could come speak with you today because there are a couple things I'm frustrated about and don't understand, and I hope maybe you could help me. I'm a part of the new Jackson County Middle School District cheerleading team. I was so excited when I tried out and was chosen for the team. I've been a cheerleader since I was 6 years old through the county youth recreation team. But this year I wanted to challenge myself and move to the next level. I'm going from the recreation league to the school-based sports. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and I made the team. I'm super proud of myself. Now, to the part that gets me really frustrated because I don't understand. I've gone to practice every single day except for the weekends for 2 hours a day since the beginning of August. That's a lot. There were times I didn't feel like going, but I knew if I didn't go, I wouldn't be allowed to cheer. When it was game time, I participated in the back-to-school bash. I participated in the 2 mandatory fundraisers for district sports. But for what? I did all the practice and participating and only got to cheer in 3 home game football games. That doesn't seem right or fair to me. I want to cheer in all of the middle school football games, both home and away games. Our whole cheer team does, but we have been told several times by the school district that we are not allowed to go to the away games because we don't have any bus drivers. My parents are willing to take me to and from the games once the teammates, and one of my teammates' moms already have a special kind of driver's license to drive a bus. And my cheer coach said that she would be willing to learn how to drive a bus so we can all go. But still, the answer has been no. I don't get it. I put in the time and effort, energy, and practice, and I give it all all every day. But I don't feel like anybody in the school district cares whether we are there at the games or not. But I care. I love my school, I love cheerleading, I love my team, and I love my coach. We all just want to be able to do our sport and give it everything we have. I don't feel like I'm being treated as an equal athlete as to all the other middle school athletes. I want to feel like what I do matters, and it is important, because to me it does. I want the school district to help us grow as a team, but I feel like we are being held back. The other thing I don't understand is why we aren't allowed to wear uniforms to school on game days. I worked super hard to earn the privilege to wear that uniform. I was only allowed to wear it to school one time before we were told we weren't allowed to do it again, all because one principal didn't like it. Do you know that the recreation team is allowed to wear their cheerleader and football uniforms to school, but our middle school cheer team isn't?
Thank you. Thank you, Addison. Our next speaker is Brenda Wilson, Addison's mother. Come on.
She would also like to speak about middle school cheer.
How do I follow that? I'm sure that you guys are aware that equity and inclusion is a big topic in schools. And being the mother of, being the mother of a female athlete, that I am not able to answer questions to as to why she is the only team that's not allowed to go and do her sport. Every day, this child does not get home until 9 o'clock. Every night, because she is practicing. We live in Tuckasegee, so by the time we get back home, it's 9 o'clock at night. It feels like some of the comments that, I'm not sure that some of the comments have been made known as to why is she wearing a t-shirt rather than the whole uniform? Why she knows that I am willing to transport anywhere. She has given up every other sport to be able to do this, to cheer at 3 games. Football players are asking her why she's not allowed to wear her uniform to school, but they are. We're being bounced around from facility to facility for practices. So for next, we were at the Fairview gym. Now we will be in the lunchroom at the high school. How is that equity given to each sport? Nobody else has to practice in a lunchroom when her sport requires a gymnasium. I've got people that are willing to drive the buses. We've got the licenses, we've got every parent is willing to transport their child, and it's not even remotely being considered. And we are not given reasons as to why. So how can you tell her that she's not as important as every other athlete, when even in our own handbook says that that the school board is responsible and will provide transportation to and from athletic contests, but yet she is not. That is not okay.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Our final speaker is Mr. Chris Owen. He would like to speak about school buses and transportation.
Pardon me?
Amanda's going to do it.
I'm sorry, you can't donate your time. It's up to you. Would you like to allow her? Okay. Seven, 0, 7.
All right, I'm here to represent the students who ride the Little Canada buses. While we acknowledge and recognize that there is a bus driver shortage, this is not a new problem. Our students ride the bus for 2+ hours each way. High school students arrive to school, as well as early college, late, sometimes not able to get breakfast. There's around 11 miles of this route in the afternoons that is driven through Transylvania County with no stops on that. This is not a safe road. It is not something I would want to travel in my own vehicle in the wintertime. In the mornings, the whole route is not even ran. Students are tired. They're unable to perform at their best. There's different dismissal times for each school that delay students from getting home each day. And it's hard for a single person to manage all these students on the bus for this diverse age range. Students are deprived of quality time with their families and are up till midnight or later doing assignments and are sometimes not able to keep up with their workload. Water and snacks are not provided. My students get home at 6 p.m. It is very hard for them to do their classwork, including college classes. And I beg that the school board considers that. These students are our future, the future of this county, and they deserve the equal opportunity as every other student in this county.
That concludes the.
I'm asking for approval for a budget amendment number 2 to be made to the budget resolution for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023. The following funds are in this amendment: the State Public School Fund, the Federal Grants Fund, and other specific revenue fund. This amendment includes a transfer into other specific revenue fund. A detailed copy of these amendments and transfer are provided in your board packet. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, I ask for your approval.
A couple of meetings ago, I expressed concern about Title I funds, and I noticed in the budget transfers that there's a huge amount that give us on that.
I can't, but I can get that information to you. Absolutely.
Make a motion that we approve budget.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Mr. Watson? Commissioner Spencer?
Those roots.
I meant Linda Spencer.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Ayers. I do come before you this afternoon requesting approval for the purchase of windows that have been served us well for over 60 years in the central office building, but are definitely in need of being replaced. They're some of the, probably I'm thinking through my mind, the only remaining single pane windows. I just didn't have it close enough.
Start again, please.
I just asking for approval for replacing the windows in the central office, and I said these are going through my mind. Maybe the bus garage might still have some single pane windows, but these are very energy inefficient windows. Should save a great deal of funds with heating and cooling costs. So, if you have any questions, if not, I ask for your approval for that purchase.
Daniel,
Make a motion to approve the purchase of windows. Central office.
On the roofs. And so over the past few months, we've come through, so every one of our buildings, we have a roofing contractor that comes through twice a year and does the maintenance. And so this next phase, which will take care of most of the big maintenance, they tries to get all that done before winter time. So that's for Smoky Mountain High School and Scotts Creek. So just ask your approval for that roof maintenance proposal.
Make a motion that we approve the proposal for the roof maintenance at Smoky Mountain High School. Scotts Creek.
Thank
So I have for the board this evening, 3 policies for you to consider. The first policy, 4 policies for you to consider. The first policy is rescission of policy 3480, and this is a locally developed policy for English as a second language program. This policy, being a local policy, it was not reviewed or is it updated by the School Board Association. And all of the information that is within it is a part of other policies that address the same issue. So it is redundant and it is not reviewed by the School Board Association. So to prevent the potential of conflicting policies, we would like to rescind that policy and depend on the other policies that are reviewed by the School Board Association. Also, updates to the board policy, all the 3 others come from Child Nutrition Department. The first one and the third one all reflect federal updates to civil rights statements. They also reflect the change in our school lunch program, the move from Meals Plus to the Titan system and changing that verbiage. And then for policy 6221, cafeteria accounts, we are asking the school board to allow us to move the charge rate for students in pre-K through 8th grade from $10 to $15 because of the increase in the school lunch. And so the amount of the new school lunch would not go very far with $10 as opposed to $15. So I'd be happy to answer any questions about these policy changes. If not, then I would ask for your approval of all 4.
Your account drops below 0, you can accrue up to $15 of charges beyond that.
That's right.
Getting a normal lunch, or are you getting a sandwich?
No, that's getting a normal lunch. Yep. Any other questions?
Make a motion that we approve policy updates, extension number 1, and updates 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you.
I think I can use my teacher voice and you can hear me. Everybody can just writing, we're shaking our head, yes. So the next 2 items on here are field trips, and they are out for your approval, seeking your approval. For the first field trip, which is Scotts Creek School, travel Smoky Mountain Elementary School, and they are traveling in April also to Universal Orlando Resort. And that is an out-of-state and an overnight field trip. So with both of these that I'm asking your approval, there are accommodations that are going to be made for those students who need support to make sure that they can all participate in the field trip. So I ask your approval for field trip 1 and 2. Sure. Question. Thanks to principals back there, you have to do some bartering. So, and Mr. Treadway's like, yes, I think one member. Ms. Bryson. In place of a principal.
Motion that we approve field trips for Wisconsin. Motion that we go into closed session.
Back into open session and no action was taken in closed session.
So the last item on our agenda is personnel. So I seek your approval for personnel employee recommendations 1 and 3 through 19. Presentations 1 through 3. Staff, non-staff, and returning coach recommendations 1 through 7.
Then here it is.
Make a motion that we approve employee recommendations 1 and 3 through 19, employee resignations 1 through 3, staff, non-staff, attorney and coach recommendations 1 through 7.
And I'm set. Our next regularly held business meeting will be November the 15th, and we will be meeting at the Blue Ridge School at 6 p.m. When our regular meeting starts. And then we have a special called work session, which will be November the 8th at 5 p.m. at the central office. And that concludes tonight's meeting. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
Motion, we adjourn.